Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a stretchy spine. I'm in modeling. I'm going to switch over to rigging. I'm going to go into skeleton. I'm going to create some joints. I'm going to hold down X. Duke, 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 Duke. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, great. Something like that. Enter. I might go in, and if I go here to the display, I can go into my animation section, joint size, and make this a wee bit bigger if I want to, just so it looks a little bit better. Okay, easier to read. So I've got my joints in play. And what else do I need? I need some controllers. So I'm just going to go into create polygons, and I'll create a cube. And let's just make this just a wee bit bigger. Okay, I'm going to hit F and frame it. And what I want to do is I just want to create a curve box kind of control. So I'm going to zip into create, see curve tool, EP curve tool, put it on one linear. And if I hold down V, I can trace the outside of this box. Okay, and then what am I missing? These ones. I'm just going to go over top of the same lines again. Hit enter, and there I've got a curve box. If I scale it up a bit, you will see that that's what I got. There's just a curve. So it's a nice controller. I can see through it. Easy to select shape. If I really get into this, I can put one of these on my shelf. Boop. And if I go into the script editor, I can go in here. I can see the information right there. There's curve right there. If I just kind of click and drag down, I can select it, and I can zip over to, that's not what I wanted. File, save script to shelf, and I always call this one like CBox. Done. Make it a Mel script. Done. And now I've got a little button where I can create those whenever I want to. Okay, great. Anyway, I've got this box. Happy, and I know it. I'm just going to take this thing and freeze it out, kill the history. There is no history on it. This one is going to be my hip control, underscore control. And I'll make a duplicate of this, control D, and I'll hold down V and snap it up here to the top. And that one's going to be my shoulder control. Boop. I could call this top and bottom control too, but this is kind of a stretchy spine, spliney type effect that I'm getting. Another thing I'm going to do is just for display purposes, I'm just going to go into my joints and I'll select them all. And I'm going to go to, if I go here to display, and I go to transform display, local rotation axes. So there it is, it's got all my rotational axes out. I might just, for the heck of it, take this one here on the end. That one's usually oriented to the world. I'm just going to go into skeleton really quick, and if I go here to orient joint, and I just turn on orient joint to world, when I hit apply, it will line up with its parent joint. And I can close that. Okay, done. And what else do I got to do? Next thing, I got to create an IK spline handle. So I'm going to go to skeleton, go to create IK spline handle, and reset the tool. I usually turn off auto parent. You can auto create curve. You can turn this off and make your own if you want to. Sometimes it'll give you a little bit more control if you got a number of spans. We'll do that and see what happens. And so I'm going to click on my top joint and my bottom joint, and it's created an IK handle for me. IK spline handle. And this is being controlled by this curve. We'll just double check and make sure I'm not lying to you. If I go into component mode and I pull it, you can see the curve is controlling the joints. Wonderful. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I need some more joints. I'm going to go here to skeleton, and I'll go into the create joints tool. Just click one joint here. Let's go in and hit enter. I'm going to take the radius. I'll make it a wee bit bigger. And I might just kind of whip into the display for this thing. Display, boop, go down here to the drawing overrides, and I'll make it big and red. Oh, there's a nice red color. Yes, I like it like that. And if I take this thing and I snap it, I'm going to hold down V, snap it over here. I'll make a quick duplicate. Boo! and snap it up there too. Okay, great. So I've got two of these joints. This one down here, that's going to be my hip joint. Hip underscore JNT, boink. And then this one here will be my shoulder joint. Underscore JNT. Done. You can see them all labeled over here. I might even take this one here and call this like spine curve or something like that. Underscore curve. 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 Done. And I could call that the spine IK's handle as well. Okay, don't get too carried away with the labeling. So now what I got is I want to control this curve, and I want to use the joints to do it. One more little thing I should do is make these controllers here affect the joint. So I'm going to go in and I'll throw a parent constraint on that. Boink. And grab this, grab that joint over here, and go to constrain parento. And now, if I grab this joint and I grab that joint, I hold down control and I go over here and I grab that spine curve there. If I go into skin, bind skin, just going to check what settings I've got. Selected joints, closest distance, that should be fine. Maximum influence is 5, well, whatever. I'm going to hit apply and close. And now when I grab this and I move the curve, or I move it, it's affecting the curve. Okay, great. What time are we at? Okay, so that's working. Next thing I want to do, I want to make it so it twists. So if I go into the IK handle and see the IK handle here, oh, I selected the shoulder control. Okay, if I go in here to the IK handle, I can go into the IK solver attributes, and we're doing a spline solver. Great. If I go into the advanced twist controls and I enable them, what I can do is I can take, say, this one. That is the hip control. Just going to copy that because I'm lazy. And I'll go flying over here to the IK handle again. And this one says world up type, scene up. I want to do object rotation up, and I'm going to paste this in here. Boink. Enter. Then I'll take this one, just copy that really quick, fly back over into the IK handle and paste that in here. Boink. Done. And what that means is that I should, when I take this and I rotate it, so we got this kind of behavior from it. Okay, actually there's a popping happening. Uh-oh, what am I doing wrong? And when I do this, oh, it's not twisting. Okay, let's check that out. Let's go back over here to the IK spline. Boop. And why isn't that checking it out? So here, object rotation up, start and end. Still not doing it quite right. Back to this one. Maybe it's this beast right here. 1 tab 0, enter. And then over here, 1 tab 0, enter. Let's just check that out. Is it twisting properly? Now it is. When I take this and I do this, it's twisting. Okay, so now I've got like a little movement like this. There we go, and it's locking too. I'm just going to zero those rotations out. Boom, boom, boink. And actually, I didn't get rid of that translate up in here. I'm just going to right click, and if I go down here to freeze, I can just get rid of the freeze on that, or get rid of the dirty numbers on the translate. So now I've got a nice little stretchy spine. Oh, I don't have it stretching yet. God damn it. I'm going to take this curve, and I want to be able to measure the curve. So over here in the mill script, if I type in arc len space dash ch space 1, and I hit enter, that is going to create the curve info node. You can see it sitting right over here. Let's go and see what this looks like in the node editor. So if I go flying into the node editor, there's the curve info node that I want right there. I'm just going to take these other things and let's go and hide those. Just hit the little minus button there. So I got the curve info node. I want some joints, lots and lots of joints. Let's go and grab these joints, and I'm just going to go and hit plus and add them in. And when I grab these, just going to go and quickly sort these out a little bit. So this next step is going to be easier and for you to see. And also just a little bit better to quickly go in and put these in really, really fast and plug them in. One thing I want to do is I want to make it so when I measure the curve, so currently this curve info node it's giving me the length of the curve. Okay, so if I move this back, you'll see that, how about, let's actually select this, and I'll go here to list, and I'll put on pin tab so that it'll stay there while I take this thing and I just zero that back out. Zero. There, so that's its default position. Okay, and you will see that the curve has changed length. Okay, I want to take this and make it into like a little mathematical equation, take that information, and then plug it into the scale value of the joints. So if I go in here and I hit tab, and I go and I grab multiply, and I hit and there's multiply divide node, boink. And this multiply divide node, let's open up the hamburger stand. I'm going to go and grab this arc length, and I'm going to plug this into the multiply divide, input 1x. Let's take a look. What does that look like over here when I grab this? Let's pin the tab, unpin the tab. And now we've got that value coming in here. I just got to make sure that same value goes on here. So let's type in 50, or whatever the length of your actual curve is. And currently it's on multiply. I'm going to make this into a division. So that's going to give us a percentage. Then, if I go into this and I open up the hamburger stand, output X is going to go flying into this joint, and it's going to go into scale X. I'm going to do this again, and again, and again. Boop, 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 boop. Ah, you bastard. There. Gonna see how fast I can. Oh, I was smoking crack. Just hold on a second. Try it again. Start going too fast, and you screw stuff up. Trying to see how fast I can possibly do this. Done. So now, let's just test it out and see if it works. When I grab this crazy little box and I shake it around, there, and you can see the curve stretching with it, and you can see the joints following it. Okay, so that's what we want. And let's put that back. And then, just for fun, to take this a notch further, maybe I want to do a slinky. I've been having a slinky kind of fetish lately. If I go in here to create polygons and I go to my helix, and I take the helix, I'm just going to go to the options box here, and let's take the width. We'll make it big, pretty big, just right on these squares here, just for fun. And if I take the height and I increase that, I suspect if I put this somewhere kind of in the middle-ish, there, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, good. Oh, actually, I did one shorter than I thought I was going to do. Let's make this 25, and that should put it right there. Okay, great. Let's go back to the height. Whoop. Put it up there. Let's add more coils. Okay, that's too many. Let's go in and put in, say, 12. Enter. Done. Now, actually, let's give those a little bit of girth. Little bit of girth. Okay. This has got a bunch of creation stuff on it. I'm just going to delete that out. And what I want is I want a curve that kind of corresponds to this exact piece of geometry. I'm going to put it so the curve's kind of like in the middle of this. If I go and I grab this whole edge loop down here and I go to modify and I go to convert and I go to polygon edges to curve, okay, bloop, does it, makes it into a curve. The pivot point is right here. I want to go in and I'll delete the history on it so it's got no longer has a connection to this helix. Okay, and let's just isolate it for just a second. Control 1. I'm going to hold down D and C, and I'm going to middle click so it's like right there at the end of the curve. Okay, great. Let's bring back the geometry. I'll go in and hit Control 1, bring it back. And I'm going to hold down V, and I'm going to grab this and snap it right there. So I've snapped it to this vertex here, so it's basically in the center. And that means that if I look at this, if I go and hit 4, you'll see that it's right in the center on the whole thing. Okay, done. I'm just going to freeze that out. Now, if I grab this series of joints and I grab this curve and I hold down Control and I grab that joint here, I can go into Skin, bind the skin. And with bind skin, it's on selected joints. I'm just going to do a change of joint hierarchy and hit apply and close. Done. So that curve is now being manipulated by this. Okay, we can see it moving. But We want the curve to affect this piece of geometry in here. I might just go in and actually go to, where am I? I'm in rigging, switch back to modeling for a second, and I'm just going to go to mesh display, and I'll hit soften harden edges. I always usually have this set to like 89, boop, there. And so predominantly the edges will be hard or soft, except for this one down here. And now if I go and back to, actually I don't have to go back anywhere. It's under deform. There's a thing called wire. And so with the wire, it's telling me what to do down in the lower corner. It says select the shape to deform. So this one, hit enter. Then go in and select that curve that you want to use as a wire. Select it and hit enter. Done. Now we'll do a quick test. If I go in and I grab this and I move it, oh, it's working almost fine. God damn it. If I grab the mesh and I go zipping over, there's the, I forgot to get rid of that history, but whatever. There's a drop-off distance, and if I increase that, that'll increase the strength of the curve and its influence on this piece of geometry. So now when I grab this, whoop, okay, and when I'm moving it, it's keeping the coil or the helix, it's keeping its volume. Actually, I noticed something kind of funny when I'm doing this. It's okay. Not quite the slinky I wanted. There, I feel spoiled. And that one's there snapping this way, so let's hold down X. Boink, we'll go this way. I might have to even out the weighting on the curve, it looks like. Get down to here, and that doesn't really want to do it anymore. That's no fun. What did I miss there? Okay, maybe I'll leave that alone for now. But anyway, that works for the most part. I can deform it. And I'm going to stop this video here. Actually, should I clean these things up? Maybe I should clean them up just one second before I stop the video. What if I go in and I get myself, there's a tri-curve C-box. Do I have any other magical ones? Now let's go over here and I'll quickly go to the Create CV Curve tool. And maybe this time around, let's use the EV Curve tool and I'll make a good square. I'm going to hold down X and doop, 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 doop. Hit Enter. Done. And that can be like my master control or my God control. Underscore, enter. And if I go into the hip control and the shoulder control and I parent them to God, boop, there. So now this God control can move the controller around. Okay, great, we got that. I'm just going to take this joint here and I'm going to group it and I'll make a skeleton group. Done. The control actually needs a group too. Typically, I always like to have a control group, underscore group. There. What is it? There's geometry. So we got this helix. We got a curve too, the polygon curve. Let's call that the coil, underscore curve. Actually, instead of typing out the word curve, let's just go and use CRV capitalized. That should make sense. And there's like the spline curve up in here. Let's do the same thing. Keep consistent. Okay, the IK handle. Actually, I don't even know if I want to call it. Anyway, let's leave it like this. I'm not going to second guess myself now. So I got a hip joint, I got a shoulder joint. These should actually be kind of considered not part of the skeleton. They should be considered extra joints. So typically, the helix, coil, I'll go in and group that, and that's going to be my geo group. Done. And so I got all those labeled. What the hell? Oh, there's like an extra thing in here. What I'm going to do is grab all these pieces here. I'm going to group those, and that's going to be my do not touch. Do not touch, underscore, group. Done. And one more group. I just grabbed them all. One group shall lead them all. And I'll go in here and I'll do this master, underscore, group. Done. I should call it like master coil. I'm thinking of some kind of funny, stupid joke, but I'll keep that to myself. One other thing maybe I should do as well when I'm cleaning this up, I'm just going to grab all these joints, and they've got their local rotation axes on, so I'm just going to turn that off. If I go back here to display, and I go to transform display, local rotation axes, they're all turned off. This is a little bit cleaner. I can probably name these as well. And again, I'll just double check and make sure I'm not lying. So when I do this, I can move it around. I can take the master group, move this over here, take this, move it. Yay! What about grabbing the master group itself when I move it? Oh, it's flying apart. What I might do here, if I'm placing it as scene, it's because things are getting double transformed. So maybe the skeleton group, I don't want that to move when I move the master group. So if I go into the skeleton group and I say inherits transform, now you see when I grab the master group or whatever, I'm moving it. We're getting one less thing. How about I want the control group to follow. The geo group, maybe that could be a problem. Let's turn that off. Let's see if that lessens our problem when I move this. Boop. Oh, now we got a definite issue when I did that. What was that? That was the geo group. So the geo group, leave that one alone. Okay, do not touch group. Let's see what happens when I turn that off. Oh, I might have to do some more thinking on this. This almost works. I've got it down to this now. It's just the geometry. Actually, if I go back to the geometry now, turn that off, and when I grab the master control, there. Okay, cool. So it's just the controller group here. And so the master group is just for kind of like placing this thing in 3D space. Grab this control group and master control, zero that out and put it back to its normal spot. And put that master group over here back to its normal spot. And that one too. We'll put this back to its normal spot. Done. Okay, and there is everything organized. And I'll stop the video now.